Hi, it's Lynn, and welcome back to my channel, Nourish Your Crown, where we share information and resources and support to help you on your hair journey. So hit that like and subscribe button if you're looking for encouragement and like-minded individuals who are also on this hair journey. Today I'm going to share a hair update and 7 tips that I think can help you on your journey. Let's just get started pretty quickly. So I started this channel a few months after I was diagnosed with CCCA and early scarring alopecia, and decided to share my journey. Everything was going really good. You can see all the videos that tell the story of my diagnosis and the things that I decided to do after the diagnosis to help, at least see if there was an option for healing and regrowth. And so I did all the things that I was recommended, the things that I had learned to do. Then in January 22, I got COVID-19 and I got pretty sick, and that actually triggered a hair loss episode. I thought that I had already started to I was starting to have some shedding in the fall, but getting COVID in January, it just triggered a major hair loss episode. And here are some pictures of what I was dealing with. I was devastated. I was disappointed. I was like, what is going on? I thought I was doing all of these things and you're on this journey trying to, again, get healing and be in a place of regrowth if possible. And so to have an episode triggered as dramatic as it was a lot. And so one of the things that I started doing, of course, is research and trying to find out what was going on. And at the time, there wasn't a ton of medical research about hair loss. So subsequently, though, over the last few months, there's quite a few research out there, I'll talk about that in a little bit, that states that if you already deal with hair loss, if you deal with various types of alopecia, if you get COVID-19, it can trigger an episode of what's called Telogen effluvium. So it has the potential to do that. And unfortunately for me, that's exactly what happened. And there's a physician, Dr. Dre, she's on YouTube, and she has a really good video that talks about COVID related hair loss. And so I highly recommend taking a look at that. And so anyway, I was frustrated, disappointed, especially because of this channel. And I felt like, there were so many things that we were sharing and learning and seeing some progress together. And so to be hit with that setback, y'all, I was like, for those of you who've been around or been on the channel for a while, I was contemplating, do I keep sharing? Do I keep doing this? And after thinking through it, after praying about it, you'll see I just kept doing videos. I kept learning and I kept doing the videos. And I remember to go back to the basics, go back to the things that I knew were helping me and helped me previously. And that was increasing anti-inflammatory foods, the supplementations that I've been taking, the prescribed medication. I actually started using more of that because I realized there was, COVID-19, it does trigger more inflammation. And I was actually on a webinar a few weeks ago. It was hosted by a lot of Black dermatologists, and they actually said that COVID-19 can get into the actual hair follicle. And I was like, great, right? So, but anyway, I used the things that I knew to do, that I knew would help and help my body. So anti-inflammatory foods, the supplementations, rest, trying to do more of rest. That's still on the top of my list. Movement and exercise. My hair just does so much better when I exercise versus when I'm not as active. Water, I still have work to do on that space. And then also just managing stress and proper hair care and moisturizing my hair, or working on that. And so I just kept with the basics. I kept with the things that I knew to do, and of course prayer, and just tried not to be consumed by it, and just did what I knew to do. And it actually started to grow back. So by the time we get to the summer, by June, I went from where I was, and I'll put a picture in here, earlier in the year, to getting, it coming back again. And so again, it was encouraging to say, okay, good. You still have hair follicles, just keep doing what you know to do. And then, of course, y'all, life happened again. And I got COVID again. And then now this time I got COVID, my physical symptoms were not as strong at all. It was really, quite frankly, like a bad cold. And it may be, I'm hoping and praying it was some of the things that I think it was because of the supplementation and just doing the things to keep, my body as healthy as possible. Of course, other than prayer. But then my husband got COVID as well, and his led to major illness. And that major illness, it just was a cascade of life-changing things that have happened in our family. Stress through the roof. And then that triggered another episode in around like the September, October area. And so I just was, disappointed, again, discouraged, but I didn't go back to the place where I was before. It was like, it's like ultimately depressed, quite frankly, because I had so many other things going on that I didn't have time to spend worrying about that aspect of my life as much. And so, like I said, I kept up with the basics. I did actually some additional work mentally and spiritually over the last several months that I'll talk about in a future video, especially since I know that stress is a major trigger for me. So when I say stress is a trigger, we all have stuff happening through our lives on a daily basis. And many of us, when things happen, you get to work, right? And so that's what you do. Like, I got to do what I got to do. I got to focus. I got to do that. And so we go into work mode or even probably a fight or flight mode. And so it's always doing. And I realized like that's problematic. I cannot constantly be in a fight or flight. You always got to do something. You always got to, be on 10 to do what needs to be done. And so many things that I'm learning about trust and rest and have been helping me through even this journey. So I'll talk about that again, like I said, in another video, because there's the physical side of the healing process. There's the mental side, nutrition. There's also a spiritual side that I'm learning more about, and I'm learning more again about resting and trusting, and not always having to be in a solve mode, which can sometimes again trigger more stress. So rest and trust have become essential. Sticking with the basics and the things that I know to do have been really helpful in helping me get from this particular journey. Again, I'm going to show you where I've been in the last year, and you can see where we are right now. I think you can see the crown has returned. The crown has returned. Now there are spots that are thinner. So when I had that latest episode, it really hit in here this go round. And a lot of times I think what happens for me is it'll start here. There's like an anchor spot here. And then it kind of just works its way in these different areas. My hairstylist and I were talking about this. And so it started right here, and then it kind of went here again. And then I'm at the tail end now. So there's some spots that were thinning, but now they're coming back here on this side. I don't even know if you can see that. And then on this side, I can't turn all the way around like that. So, but it's all coming back again. And so all that to say, here I'm going to, again, like I said, keep doing the things that I know to do. I encourage you, if you're on this journey, keep doing the things that you know to do, that contribute to your healing and your peace internally and on your hair. And so here are a couple of things that have been really helpful for me. The first one is a mindset approach. And I saw this in a book, I think it was by Cole Riley. I'm drawing a blank on her name. And she made this statement in her book. And it says, repair is after you. I really want us to hear that. Like, repair is after you, right? Healing is after you. It's coming after you. It's hunting you down. And sometimes we need to slow down and let repair have its way. Maybe I'm the only one that needs to hear that. But that's been at the top of my list, because I tend to go into action mode versus rest mode when things are going all over the place. And so the mindset that repair is after you, and that sometimes in order to let repair have its way, we need to slow down. That's just something that might resonate with you. Okay. So the second thing is specific to really science, right? So the National Institute of Health has listed some strategies that can help promote hair growth, specifically if you're dealing with COVID-related hair loss. And so there have been now numerous studies that have taken place, or multiple studies that have taken place about COVID-related hair loss. And the things that they recommend, quite frankly, are the same things that my physician recommended for me dealing with CCCA. Well, first thing they said was, you can sometimes, if you have COVID-19, there could be an episode of hair loss that gets triggered usually about 2 to 3 months after you've had COVID. So a couple of things that they recommend is psychological support, stress coping mechanisms, patient education, so you continuing to learn and understand what's happening to you. The next thing they recommend is optimal nutrition. We've talked about that a whole bunch of times. So anti-inflammatory foods are really, really important. Reducing the foods that are triggers for you, the things that might cause you gut issues. The third thing is using oral hair regrowth supplements, multivitamins, minerals. I'll link here, if you haven't, you've probably already seen this video, but there are certain supplements that I take that I have actually still continued to take. There are certain, obviously, some nutraceuticals that are out there now. So really working with your physician to figure out what are the things that work best with what you are currently taking. The other areas are areas that I'm not actually utilizing, but I've seen in some other YouTube videos and other places where people are using them and they're seeing success with them. Things that the National Institute for Health recommends. And so highly recommend tapping into those. I'm going to link to the article below so you can have that information as well. That leads me to the next area, which is getting medical care. I am going to always be an advocate for medical care. Everybody has their preferences. Mine is to look at a holistic approach. So I'm going to highly recommend that if you haven't already done that, if this is your first time watching a video, you're just dealing with this, I would say highly recommend find yourself a physician and get as much complete care as possible. So that would mean finding a dermatologist, getting internal, maybe you need to work with an internist, getting blood work, connecting from if you have a therapist, connecting and talking with someone from that perspective. There is trichologists, which really, they specialize in hair care. They're not board physicians, but they are specialists in hair loss. So whatever you do, get medical care. One of the game-changing things for me, at least to let me know that to still stay on this journey, is getting a biopsy. And in that biopsy, on the report, it said that I had numerous hair follicles, which means they weren't stagnant, they weren't dead, they weren't scarred over, I think is the terminology. And so knowing where you are, knowing where your scalp is going to help you and your physician come up with the plan of action that is realistic. So definitely seek medical care. The next thing that I would recommend to do is for you to keep a photo journal of your process. One of the things that has been helpful for me is to go back and see the process of where I was and to see that it is a journey. And also it affirms that this is just the process for me. I would rather not have to be in a position where I'm having to go all over the place. I want it to be a straight line from, symptoms to healing. It just isn't. And so, but having that photo journal helps me see where I'm at and see what's going on. At the same time, it's a way also to help me make sure that I don't compare myself to others. And so it's so easy, even if you're watching this video, you're watching other videos, it's so easy for us to look at other people and think we should be where they are. And it's just not true. And not only that, it can be discouraging because you'll see people say on here, they'll have no hair, no edges, and then 2 months later they're on with all, hair down here and full edges, and that might be their story. That might not be our story. And so if I go on there looking and thinking that I should be having this same experience, it's not accurate and it's not helpful. Even if you watch my videos, we all have our own specific journey. My goal is to help provide principles, right? Things that you can think about that might be helpful, but then also I really hope and pray that it opens your eyes, or that you learn things and you come up with, you come up with things that are unique to you, because at least you've had now time to sort of sit and think about it. So don't compare yourself to others. This is your journey. We can learn from one another, but we don't need to compare to one another. The next thing that I would recommend is connecting to a support group, 1, 2, or more. There's a really nice group that I just joined recently. They're a CCCA Facebook group, and I did get permission to share their link. So you are more than welcome to join if you're dealing with CCA or scarring alopecia. You'll see people, women that are at all phases of this journey. Some people who have just been diagnosed, to people who have seen great success, to people like me who have an up and down journey. But it's a really great community connect with, to learn from, to get reminded of resources, to learn new resources. I just recommend that you connect with them as well. It's also co-run by a physician, a Black female physician. And so again, connect with a support group. The 6th tip is keeping hair moisturized. So having CCCA, one thing that I realized is like how my hair, the texture, it can be weird sometimes. And so keeping it moisturized is a challenge. So I have found shampoos and conditioners and things that have been really helpful. I have some styling products, I'll link to that video here, that have been pretty good and pretty helpful. But y'all, this thing right here, this basic old school Curl Moisturizer has been a game changer. So I have been using this for the last few weeks and my hair has never been softer. And the way that I use it is I use this. I'll use a TGIN hair breakage hair serum type oil. And then I also just got Tabitha Brown's, what is this? Extra creamy hair cream, which is a really nice consistency. I don't know how this is going to look, but really nice consistency. But this product, that oil, sometimes I use the oil, sometimes I don't. And then this, my hair has literally never been softer. So I highly recommend, if you are looking for, if your hair tends to be dry, mine tends to be very dry. I also saw a video from a physician, and that's where I saw this. It was on this YouTube channel, and she had a physician on there, and the physician was saying, like, if you have hair that is 4C, if it's super curly, that you might need to be using a moisturizer 5 to 7 times a week. And so this one is a light enough moisturizer that I can do that, and it has been a game changer. So highly recommend that. And so the last tip that I have is not necessarily directly related to your hair, but is certainly connected to your heart. And what I would say, my recommendation is, make sure you are out here living your life. It is time for you to live your life. Don't be consumed by this hair situation. Don't let it discourage you to the point where you're not moving forward with the things that you can be doing. I posted a post a couple of weeks ago that says you were created to create. I wholeheartedly believe that. And there's an influencer, I love this quote. She says, there are things that this world needs that only you can give. And I would encourage you to not let this hair situation keep you off track from pursuing the things that only you can create and contribute to the beauty of this world. Get busy living, right? And maybe you know what that is, and maybe you don't know what that is. One of the things that I did this year was I created a vision board. to help me really even think through a lot of areas of my life, but particularly even this channel. And so I created a quick PDF, free PDF document or digital document that you can have. I'll link that below. So you are more than welcome, obviously, to download that and have that. But live your life. We need you. We need what you have. Whether it's on YouTube, whether it's a book, whether it's at your job, whether it's going to school, whether it's in your church, it's your time to live and to create and to share and to contribute. I highly encourage you to do that. And so what you can expect going forward this year is more videos from me. I'm going to do some more digital content. I'm really looking forward to that, and some opportunities to connect. I would love to do like a live Zoom session where we just connect and share our stories. I'm not going to post it on YouTube. I get that people may not want to share their story or even, have it all public like that. And so I would love to do like a Zoom session. So if it's something you're interested in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below, because this channel is really your channel. So if you want to do things where we connect together, again, it doesn't need to be posted on YouTube. We can do it in a separate platform that's just us. We can do that. I'm looking forward to doing some more guides. The other thing that I would love to know from you is there a way that I can pray for you? Do you have a specific prayer request? Is there anything that I can do to support you in prayer? So I would encourage you can leave a comment below if you're okay with that. If you want to be more private with it, you can email it to me at my email address. But I would love to partner with you in prayer on things that you might be going through or dealing with right now. That's it for this video. Please like and subscribe it to make sure that it goes out to more women like us who are on this journey. And this is your reminder to live well, live blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.